On Capitol Hill today, a bipartisan call for more government transparency on UFOs, or as the military calls them, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs. 3 retired military veterans testified before a House subcommittee. One was asked about alien bodies. 2 others talked about seeing UAPs. In a moment, I'll talk with a retired Navy pilot who saw with her own eyes what one UAP was capable of off the coast of San Diego years ago. First, more on today's testimony from CNN's Oren Lieberman.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
The videos of mysterious airborne objects have captured the public's attention.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
And perhaps it's imagination.
There lies a pressing demand for government transparency and accountability that cannot be overlooked.
As Wednesday's hearing focused on the threat they may pose and whether the government has been too secretive about what it knows.
If UAP are foreign drones, it is an urgent national security problem. If it is something else, it is an issue for science. In either case, unidentified objects are concerned for flight safety.
David Grush, a former military intel officer, claimed the U.S. had alien bodies in spacecraft, a statement for which he admitted he has secondhand info and no proof.
You've said that the U.S. has intact spacecraft. You said that the government has alien bodies.
I have to be careful to describe what I've seen firsthand and not in this environment.
Have you seen any of the bodies?
That's something I've not witnessed myself.
The House oversight hearing was a rare moment of bipartisanship in a sharply divided Congress.
We're not bringing little green men or flying saucers into the hearing. We're just going to get to the facts.
We should encourage more reporting, not less, on UAPs. The more we understand, the safer we will be.
One of the witnesses was former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, who now runs Americans for Safe Aerospace, a group that encourages pilots to report incidents of UFOs, officially known as UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. The vast majority of sightings, he says, are never reported.
This is an approximation based off of my personal experience speaking with a number of pilots, but I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting, perhaps.
The 3 witnesses, all retired military veterans, warn the threat these objects pose is real.
Based off of your own experience or the data that you've been privy to, is there any indication that these UAPs could be essentially collecting reconnaissance information? Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Mr. Grush?
Fair assessment, yeah.
Mr. Fravor?
Very possible.
David Fravor, a retired U.S. Navy commander, picked up this on his aircraft sensors in 2004, a reading he claimed was something far superior to anything the U.S. had.
You're talking something that can go into space, go someplace, drop down in a matter of seconds, do whatever it wants, and leave, and there's nothing we can do about it.
In April, the head of the Pentagon's office looking into these incidents told lawmakers there were about 650 potential cases of UAPs, about half of which he said may be of interesting value. The White House said Wednesday it's still working on figuring out those answers.
If your question is, do we think we need to be transparent with the American people? Of course we need to be as transparent as we can be. But the truth is, Jeremy, we don't have hard and fast answers on these things. We are trying to get smarter on it.
Oren Lieberman, CNN at the Pentagon.
More now on that strange sighting in 2004 you just saw in Oren's report, one that resembled a Tic Tac. Here again is that moment. My next guest, along with the retired Navy commander David Fravor, who testified today, witnessed this UAP off the coast of San Diego during a routine training exercise. Joining me with more is retired Navy Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich. Commander, thanks for being here. You watched the hearing today. You listened to the testimony. What did you think? What stood out to you?
Well, I was very proud of my colleagues, the 3 witnesses, Ryan Graves, David Grush, and Commander David Fravor, who was my skipper at the time of our UAP encounter back in 2004. And I thought all 3 of them did a great job of maintaining their bearing, articulating their experience and their expertise and their recommendations for the representatives of Congress to follow through, to investigate both what has already happened and to pave a way for a process and a system to collect future encounters, the information, the data, analyze it in a systematic way, and make sense of it.
David Fravor was your commanding officer. You mentioned him on that day back in 2004 when you saw the UAP, which you've referred to as the Tic Tac, and we're showing the video now. Commander Fravor described the encounter again today in the hearing. What else do you personally remember from that encounter? What stands out to you all these years later?
So I thought Commander Fravor did an excellent job of recounting a lot of the technical details, the scenario that we were in this training exercise off the coast of California. We were a large carrier strike group, this battle group of several ships and squadrons of aircraft. That is why it was such a big deal that we had this unidentified aircraft or something in our airspace operating so close to a military exercise. And the only thing that I would add to the story that he tells is what happened in the moments and hours and days afterwards, which was disappointing. It was underwhelming in terms of the debrief that we received. And so again, I would advocate for a process in place so that when operators, whether they're military pilots or civilian commercial pilots or anybody else who sees something, to have a way to report it and to have a channel through which it is collected and analyzed in a systematic way.
And in the 18 years since, has anyone, in a position or anyone from the military, anyone in a legitimate position to investigate, been able to give you any explanation that makes sense about what you saw?
Oh, no explanations. But I will say that it took several years before I was called into the Pentagon to provide a thorough debrief. And at that point, I was asked some very good technical questions.
I mean, the thing that years ago really got my attention and interest was that a number of these videos that have caught the public's attention were not shot by civilians. They were captured by military personnel, like this incident from 2015 off the Atlantic coast, 11 years after your encounter. I just want to show this.
Oh, got it! Roger. That's troubleshooting. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. Look at the try.
I mean, as somebody who has encountered something, when you see a video like that, what goes through your mind?
Well, I'm laughing because I recognize their excitement. That's exactly what we sounded like.
I can imagine. I mean,
across, yeah. I mean, what is that? And a lot of F-bombs, and again, it's unexpected. I'm confident that there are other videos like this, and if they're not recorded, certainly other experiences like this where people just go, "What was that?"
Right.
Yeah.
Commander Alex Dietrich, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
So you thought they wouldn't take the term Tylenol seriously. So you're like, it looked like a Tic Tac.
Right. Yeah. Tic Tac, il gusto unico della menta in oltre 100 strati di delicata freschezza. Tic Tac.
La vita fa tic tac, il ritmo fa tic tac, accendi il ritmo della vita con tic tac. E quel confetto che più allegria farà, non senti il gusto così fresco di tic tac. Il cuore fa tic tac, l'amore fa tic tac, è così fresca la giornata con tic tac. E quel confetto che più allegria farà, accendi il ritmo della vita con tic tac.